Freedom and beauty to everyone, I am the Technomage and welcome to my review of Amazon The Rings of Power Episode 5, The Halls of Stone. And nothing happens on this episode. Now seriously, the plot takes no steps forward at all. And you'll see what I mean by this. So we begin with the dwarves. King Durin finally has all the 7 rings of power for the dwarves, and he uses one of those rings and the power to find the places where to dig more sun shafts. And Khazad-dûm finally has light again and everybody's happy. Even the dwarves are celebrating with the elves.
Behold!
But not everything is going as well as it should. Well, first of all, we have this scene with Disa and Durin. They're in the market buying a present for their daughter. And she drops it and she encounters this flight of stairs. All these steps dug in stone that goes all the way down to this cavern. And Disa sinks to the cavern because she feels that something is wrong. And apparently she encounters the place where the Balrog is buried. The Balrog of Morgoth, who will later be known as Durin's Bane. Let me remind you, she was on this marketplace with all of these people, and she just stumbled to this flight of stairs that take her all the way down to this cavern where the Balrog is. How come nobody else has found this place? Like a little child running away from their parents. Just go down here and encounters a flaming demon from hell. Well, King Durin is offering the rings to the other realms of the other 6 realms of dwarves, and he is becoming crazy with greed. He wants to dig deeper and deeper in the mines to get more riches, and he's getting paranoid about the ring, and he demands that the other dwarven realms give him in tribute half of everything they extract from the mines in exchange for a ring of power. And Durin, of course, is very worried about this. He goes to Celebrimbor. Celebrimbor says, no, the rings, there should be no problem. And Durin actually deduces, well, if the process was the same with the elven 3 rings, the elvish rings, what if the problem is with Anatar? Who is he? Where did he come from? And
balance to the entire project.
Anatar manages to gaslight Celebrimbor into believing that if there is a problem with the 7 rings of the dwarves, it's his fault because he lied to Gil-galad about continuing working with the rings, and that deceit, that lie, corrupted the process of the forging of the 7 dwarven rings. And worst of all, and by the way, Celebrimbor believes him like a total fool. And then there is this problem with this female blacksmith who, they were creating a prototype for the 9 rings for the King of Men, and she wore one that made her invisible. And she entered the unseen world and saw the world as it is unseen. And she saw this specter of death, this demon, dark, full of hatred, which of course is, this guy is Sauron. that right now is disguised as Anatar with this beautiful visage, but we know it's not who he really is. It's actually horrendous. But he convinces this girl that that was actually Celebrimbor, that the forging of the rings has drained his vitality and has left him wounded, and he's trying to help him.
Seemed her perfect likeness.
And she convinces her by flattering her, by comparing her with Galadriel. By the way, we're talking about the Galadriel of this series, so no, that is not a compliment that any woman should want to hear. And meanwhile, we have all the drama with Númenor, where Pharazôn is finally king, and he can make all of his ambitions true, alongside his spoiled brat of a son, who made, by the way, with an idea from Elendil's daughter, that all of the marines, all of the sailors that are still loyal to the queen must retire from service.
Nobody's captain now.
And of course, this spoiled brat is enjoying every second of it, because now he has all the authority that he never had, all the respect that he never had. And by the way, he doesn't deserve. And then we have this religious ritual where they are mourning the dead. And the spoiled brat appears, saying that this temple is going to be torn down to create a new aqueduct. And he fights Valandil. Valandil, of course, kicks his ass because he's a trained soldier, a trained sailor, while this other guy is just, well, a spoiled brat. Valandil, I think, breaks his arm and hits him at the point of a sword, but under the other sword, Elendil, he spares him. And what do you think happens after he humiliates this spoiled brat? This spoiled brat, oh surprise, stabs him in the back and kills him. And that's the end of the episode. And as I said, nothing happened. I mean, the plot did not advance at all. We just have this, this episode is a filler episode. Just more exposition. But at least in the previous episode with the exposition, the plot actually advanced something. Here, nothing. We already knew that the 7 dwarvish rings were supposed to be finished, and they are still all in possession of King Durin. He just now started using one of them. And Númenor, Pharazôn is the king, and that's it. He's barely just starting to implement his vision for Númenor. And Celebrimbor is still a fool, a complete idiot, still trusting Anatar. And that's it. Just a filler episode. This is the Technomage signing off. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.